Hey everyone, welcome to the 141 edition or 141st edition, 141st edition of the Animated Girls Profile Confidential. And yes, you can see the name in the title description. We are talking about another Helluva Boss character, and I'm going to tell you something. I don't know if in story these two have gotten along, as teammates, maybe as friends, but I'll tell you, there is one episode with a fight scene in it that basically showcases that you do not mess with this woman, nor do you mess with her man. And that, of course, is Millie. Millie basically is part of the same organization that Blitzo heads up, along with, Luna and her, and Millie's husband, of course, Moxie or Mox. And from what I can tell, she is a very she can be basically a very sarcastic, very verbatim like protagonist in the show. At first, as far as I know, she and Luna never really got along. I don't know if that's changed, because apparently a lot of people are saying that they've teamed up a lot more. They've kind of, like, I guess, put their differences aside a little bit, maybe. I'm not really sure. I haven't had a chance to really catch up with the show as much as I should because, of course, as I've mentioned before, I live in a household with my mom. She's a prayer warrior, born-again Christian like I am. And, I just get this feeling that if I was to watch it, try to catch up with it, she'd see it. And even though she'd probably ask at first while I'm watching, she would just probably see some of the stuff in there. She'd be like, "Oh yeah, I don't want you watching this," or she basically, she wouldn't say she doesn't want me watching it, but she'd basically be like, "Why are you watching that in this house? I don't want that in this house," kind of stuff, and all that. And I think, and that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. She could be okay with it, even though she might be like, "Yeah, that's I don't care for that stuff," kind of deal. Again, that's just but again, like I said, she could say otherwise, like she don't want me watching it and everything, in the house. But then again, she could be like, I don't care. I don't care if you watch it. It's just not for me. And, I don't care for its signography, if you will, signography, signature style or whatever, you get the idea. It's kind of hard to come up with, words to describe, the situation. But yeah, she'd be the kind that even though she would ask me, like, what am I watching? She'd see a little bit of that iconography and she'd be like, nah, I don't want that. I don't want you watching that in this house. Or, yeah, you could watch it, but it's just not for me, And I say this because, again, I go back to something that happened years ago, I would say almost a decade ago, I would say, because it's almost been a decade since me and my mom have been here in Newman, since we moved from Patterson. And basically, long story short, I think it was like 2015, late 2015, 2016, I think, or somewhere in between there. I think it may have been 15 or 16. One of the people that likes to send me and Zara Nicerek and others packages of stuff, and I'm not talking Frank Hill, because Frank Hill does that when he can, and I appreciate it, and everybody else appreciates it, that he does it for as well. But somebody else was sending me packages, and one person, I'm not going to name their name, but this person basically sent me a great package of movies and stuff, and complete series. And one of the things they sent me, of course, as part of that was the 80s, the 1980s, early 1980s animated adaptation of Dungeons and Dragons. And yeah, here's the thing. When I got that, I could have chose not to show it to my mom, but I was working at the time at Walmart, and basically I knew that when I was working, when my mom was off either on the weekends or during her breaks, that she likes to clean the house a little bit, kind of catch up on stuff and clean the rooms, vacuum them, mostly vacuum them in my case. And I just had this feeling that if she went into my room and I had that movie, put into the DVD collection, or that complete set put in the DVD collection, she would see it. And the moment I would come home, or the moment I would have a break at work, I'd probably either get a text or something like that, asking me, why do I have this in the house? Telling me she got rid of it. I just had that feeling that, I would be going through the same thing my dad did, when when he was not home and he was at work, she basically took his skull mask that he would wear for Halloween and she tossed it. She got rid of it. And yeah, he wasn't happy at first, but he did eventually understand why she did it. She said she had this dream, this vision of the skull coming after her. And ironically, she woke up, and I guess, when she looked under the bed, or looked under the bed, that's when she saw that's what the mask was, and she just got rid of it. But yeah, she's that kind of a prayer warrior to the point, and I'm not saying she's got spiritual powers, let's put it that way, but she will basically not, allow certain things in the house. I'll put it that way. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Anytime we go to my niece's home in Modesto, she'll see that she's kind of into a little bit of the, universal monsters, kind of like the dark stuff and the paranoia and all that. And my mom is just like, she won't say anything out of respect, but I could tell in a way that if she had any say, if she had the final say, none of what's in my niece and her fiance's house, none of that monster, dark, paranoia kind of stuff, none of that would be there if she had her way. The same with my older sister, and her son. My mom would walk in there and be like, any of that stuff, gone, that she wouldn't approve of. Same with my third oldest nephew. Anything that's in there that she feels is not up to her standards because of, her prayer warriorness, which is a good thing, she would take down. But because she has respect for it being somebody else's house and not one that she's renting from like we are, basically she would, essentially not say anything because she has that respect. But yeah, you would think, okay, shouldn't she have that respect for you? She does to an extent, but here's the thing. If it's something that's, essentially, has a bit of a reputation, yeah, she's not going to, not going to allow it. But anyway, to get back to Millie, that's, to get back to what I was talking about when it comes to Millie here, basically, that's why I haven't really been able to catch up with Helluva Boss that much, or Has Been Hotel. Mainly because of the fact that I could watch them, catch up with them, but then she would kind of sense like, hey, what are you watching? It's like she would wonder, and if she saw what I was watching, again, she may not say anything and be like, okay, that's, I don't like it, but if you want to watch it, that's fine. But because, we live in the same house, yeah, it's kind of like, you got to be respectful of others. I guess you could say wishes and wishes and feelings and all that. And that's why I basically did what I did that one time, as I was saying, with that package. I took the DVD thing over to her because she was off that day. It was a Saturday and she was off. So she knew the package was there. She just didn't know the contents until, I saw what was in there. And then when I saw, like I said, the D&D, I'm like, yeah, I gotta show her, because if not, she's just going to find out herself when I'm at work and it's going to be gone. So anyway, long story short, that's why, again, I haven't really caught up as much unless she's working, and I have the place to myself, and then I can catch up a little bit as best I can. Or when I have my door shut and she's, either just resting or whatever the case may be, that's when I can catch up on things. But anyway, like I said, getting back to Millie, again, I don't know if her and Luna are truly like, BFFs now, or at least getting there. You guys can let me know. But from what I've seen, like I said, getting back to that one fight scene, there's an episode, I don't know if it's the second season episode, because apparently it came out last year in 2023. But there's an episode where basically Mox is going to get married, is being forced into a marriage. I don't know if it's a gay marriage or he's mistaken for a girl. I don't know. I mean, I know he disguises himself as a girl in a more recent episode and actually acts more feminine than I think even not Mox, but Millie can believe, and everything. But anyway, again, I don't. But anyway, But anyway, I'm trying to find the right words to say. He gets roped into this wedding. Again, I don't know if it's a gay wedding or whatever, that this Chaz guy is putting on for one of his groups or something like that, or one of his people. And Millie basically, when her and Blitzo crash into the building and everything, she just is like on a tear. She is on a tear. She's like, if you want my husband, you're going to have to effing kill me. And her eyes are glowing, and she is just kicking some serious ass. She's just kicking ass. She's just tossing people all over and everything. She's dragging somebody. She's driving a car they used to crash into the building. She's driving it with somebody being drugged, being hooked around the neck, being drugged and everything. I mean, she is just tearing into people, eating. I wouldn't say eating them, but biting them, making it look like she's eating them. She is just whipping ass. And basically, when it's all said and done, she just walks up to the altar, grabs Mox, puts him over her shoulder. Chad's like, okay, whatever. And then I guess the so-called groom is saying, hey, what about my wedding? And I think she throws something in the groom's throat and basically kills him too. And then she has Mox over her shoulder. She pats his butt, real hard, saying, "This ass is mine." He then just walks off, and then she grabbed Blitzo along the way and then out of the building and everything. I was laughing because I was just loving that scene and laughing at the end when she's like, "This ass is mine," But then that's not the only fight scene she had. Of course, she had one of the more iconic fight scenes in the first season, at least towards the end of the first season, I think in one of the final episodes, where it was her and Luna and the rest of the crew fighting off a group of people, a group of Chirbies or whatever they were. I don't know if it's a human world or something like that. They were fighting them off. And then I think there's an episode where she and Luna have to fight off some people to save the guys, and I think that might be where they start getting along. I'm not really sure. But then one of the more recent ones came from Full Moon, and then that was awesome as well because she basically pretty much ambushes the Chirbies who are getting ready to attack because the goal in the episode is to take out Blitzo for some reason. I think it's because of his connection with Stolas. I don't know. But anyway, she ambushes like the lead Chirby and everything. And then you have Luna tackling one Chirby who's known. He's got a name. I think it's what, a Clove or Cyrilo or something. It starts with a C. You guys let me know. But she tackles him. And then you have Mox shooting at the female Chirby, the lamb, if you will. And she, and it's just fun and everything. And then, you have Millie. Excuse me. You have Millie fighting you have them fighting and everything, and you have Millie. So what happens is you have the head Chirby, fire a missile at Millie, and it blows her. It doesn't kill her, but it blows her sideways right into a XXX store. And then as the female Chirby is getting ready to go after Blitzo, chase after him, all of a sudden you see all these I guess you could say adult toys, these adult genitalia like toys being tossed out, from the store, through the broken window. And then you see Millie right there because, she's tossing them at the female Chirby, and the Chirby and the female one's looking at where they're coming from. And there's Millie, and she's like blowing her an air kiss. And then they're starting to fight. They're starting to fight and everything while Luna is trying to get that one other Chirby, the one that I guess people like to pair her with, basically, she's fighting him off, trying to prevent him from firing, and his weapon off, and it gets fired off, and it heads towards Millie's direction, and while she's fighting the female Chirby, and she basically takes a sewer lid, lifts it up as a shield, but then she uses it to block an attack by the female Chirby and breaks her blades, and then she's like, "Sarahun, you can play as me, but you ain't no." So she said something along the lines of, "Sarahun, you can play as me, but you ain't anywhere close," or something like that. And And then later on, when she sees, because basically she gets drugged by the neck by the lead Kirby, while she's dragging the female Kirby by the neck with her tail, and the female Kirby stabs her in the leg with a broken blade. But then all of a sudden, and just as it looks like the female one's going to get ready to, take Millie out, all of a sudden there's a gunfire and there's Mox, and Millie then uses her tail just to toss the female Kirby over to Mox, and then he grabs her and he's like, "Welcome to hell, B." You get the idea. But then the female one grabs him, takes it off in the air with him, and then Millie, she sees this, and what does she do? Millie basically takes the blade out of her leg, stabs it into the back of the mech suit that the lead Kirby's wearing, and uses him somewhat like a rocket, chases after the female one who has her husband, and basically takes the blade out of the lead Kirby, causing him to fall, and causing him to fall on the other well-renowned Kirby, like I said, the one people like to pair Luna up with. Well, he's firing at Luna, and she gets hit, by the way, and she has to change back into human form. But anyway, what happens is that Millie does this, and then she jumps off the guy, jumps off the lead Kirby, causing him to fall because he has no power anymore in the suit. And she basically hops onto the female one who has Mox, and then she just, and all she does is this. She just takes her hand or takes her fist and right into the female's suit and causes them to fall. And then basically Mox just, tosses or pushes off the female Kirby, just to allow him and Millie to fall into a pool from the top of a roof of a hotel or a club, which, oh, by the way, Luna blasts both times to, give him a safe drop. And even Luna is like, she kind of gasped a little bit when she's changing back to her hellhound wolf form. And, that kind of tells me that maybe she does care about them now. She does feel like, the friends and everything, or at least, they have like a respect between them. But anyway, they land in the pool, Millie and Mox, and they start making out. But yeah, Millie, I know people have high praised her. Some people have been a little critical about her, especially in the first season. And I think if there's one thing Visipop has, taken to heart is, the criticism of the fans, give, some of the things they took place in the first season. And I'm sure she took that and it's like, okay, I need to fix that. And we kind of see the results of that here when it comes to like Millie and I guess her relationship with Luna and such and so on. But yeah, she is definitely, with the right story and everything, she is definitely a character that you do not, in story, you do not want to get on her bad side, nor do you want to mess with her husband, because you mess with her husband, you're messing with her, and that's pretty much sentencing yourself to a fate worse than death itself. I mean, we think Luna can kick ass, and she can. Luna can kick ass. There's no doubt. Excuse me, there is no doubt she can kick ass. But Millie is right there with her. And again, I don't know what their status is. Whether they're just, respectable working mates or the friends now. I don't know. Let me know, guys, on that. But yeah, that's all I can say about Millie here on the 141st edition of the Animated Girls Profile Confidential. We are nearly, guys, are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? I mean, I was looking on my YouTube, on the playlist where I have all the episodes located. I was looking there, and I noticed that it's going on almost a decade, not next year, but in 2026. Yeah, we are at 8 years right now since I've started this series, and we are close to a decade. It's a year and a half off, but we're getting there. But anyway, though, guys, let me know what your thoughts are on Millie and on this edition of Animated Girls Profile Confidential. Like the videos, ring that bell for notifications, subscribe to the channel. It helps me out, guys. Also, go into the description, click on my link to my Teespring store for merchandise you can't get anywhere else. Get yourself a sweater, get yourself a mug, get yourself a mouse pad, a t-shirt, get yourself a long sleeve shirt in time for fall. you can find something for everybody there. I think you will enjoy what you see. Hopefully, I will try to get some new stuff up there. But I got to figure out, okay, how do I do that without getting in trouble or without having any controversy, come my way. But yeah, when it comes to what I want to upload, because apparently Teespring is, like some of the other places like it are kind of like, okay, we're going to put it up there for sale, and then all of a sudden they take it down for like reasons. I don't know. But anyway, besides that, check out the Teespring store for merchandise you can't get anywhere else. Like I said, get yourself a long sleeve shirt in time for fall, t-shirt, mug, you name it. Also, check out where you can find me across the internet, I should say, at places like rumble.com, odyssey.com, VENMO.com. I have content there that some of that content I can't put here on YouTube due to, the fact that it might be playable, but they also will probably age restricted at times, and I don't want to chance the fact that, because of their system, things could not go my way. So go to rumble.com, odyssey.com, and like I say, VENMO.com. You can find some of the stuff there. Also, check out my the audio versions and video, if they allow it, versions in other platforms like Spotify for podcasters, Spotify itself, iHeartRadio, Pandora. What else? Like I said, iHeartRadio, Pandora, iTunes, Radio Public, you name it. You will find me on most of your audio podcasts, if not slightly audio, if not audio, and to an extent video podcasts. But guys, also check out my Venmo and Cash App to help donate there if you want to. It would help me out tremendously. But guys, yeah, that's all I'm going to say on Millie of Helluva Boss here on the 141st edition of the Animated Girls Profile Confidential. And until then, guys, I will talk to y'all later. You have a good day, and I am out.